Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the chemical parameters. In last lecture we already learned about the physical parameter which are responsible for the quality of water and how to calculate physical parameters. Now today we will discuss about the chemical parameters, then how it is responsible for the quality of water and how it is calculated. Now the chemical parameters: total solid, pH, alkalinity, hardness. Then some chemicals also responsible which are dissolved in a water like a chloride, sulfate, iron, manganese. Then fluoride, copper, dissolved gases, dissolved oxygen, biological oxygen demand and nitrogen. These are the parameters which we have to calculate. Or let us start with the first one, total solid. Total solid means solid particles which are present in a water sample. May it give the turbidity to water, then particles may dissolve in a water, means that solid particles may be in the form of dissolved or may be in the form of turbidity. Whenever it present in a water is called the total solid, present in that total solid. Now how to calculate or how to weight these total solid by using some methods. Now let us take empty beaker which having a weight W1. Now add some VmL of water in a beaker and then heat this up to the 110 degrees Celsius for the 6 hours. Means take the empty beaker which weight is known to us. Now we have to add water, and after adding this water in an empty beaker, then heat this beaker up to 110 degrees Celsius for the 6 hours. Then after this beaker allowed to cool at the room temperature, and then again whenever it becomes a cool, then or it becomes a normal temperature, room temperature, then weigh this beaker again. Then weight of this beaker with water is considered or taken as a W2. So the total solid present in water is equal to W2 minus W1 divided by V. We know that the W2 is the weight of water after heating and W1 is the weight of empty beaker. V is the volume of water taken in a beaker. Now the unit of calculating that total solid present in a water is the ppm or the milligram per liter. We know that this is the also unit of turbidity, and this is one of the form of turbidity. Now total solid is equal to suspended solid plus dissolved solid. Suspended solid means a solid which are called a suspended solid or a suspended impurity, or dissolved impurity means that impurity or that solid material which are completely dissolved in a water. Means whenever we see that water, it maybe looks like a turbid or it maybe looks like a clear water, but the some solid materials are completely dissolved in that water so that it looks like a clear one, but there is the presence of a solid. So we have to calculate by using this formula, suspended solid plus a dissolved solid means a total solid. Now how to calculate the suspended solid present in that water sample? Take one Whatman filter paper. We know that the Whatman filter paper is the paper which having a very small pores as compared to normal filter paper. Means whenever we insert the any liquid material for filtration, then all the impurity present in that water or all the solid materials in that water are coagulate on the surface of Whatman filter paper. So we have to take the Whatman filter paper to calculate the suspended solid. Now which having a small pore, so that all the small particles that present in water sample is adsorbed on that paper. Now take the initial weight of Whatman filter paper, means same like a beaker. First of all take the weight before filtration, take the weight of that Whatman filter paper, it is considered as a W1. Now the VmL of water sample is filtered by this paper, then again allow this paper to dry the room temperature, then again whenever we dry this uh, filter paper, then again wet this one, and then is considered as a W2. Now the suspended solid is equal to W2 minus W1. W2 means the weight after the filtration, and W1 is the weight before the filtration of one filter paper, divided by volume of water V. Now the dissolved solid is equal to total solid minus suspended solid. As per Indian standard, the permissible limit of total dissolved solid is 500 to 100 milligram per liter. Means we have to consume this water whenever there is the presence of this type of solid present in a water. This is the Indian standard. Now the second chemical factor is the pH. We know that the definition of pH means the presence of hydrogen ion concentration in a water. It is its mathematical formula is the minus log to the base 10 concentration of H plus ions. As per Indian standard, the permissible limit of total pH is 6.6 to 8.5 milligram per liter for consumable water. We know that there is a pH scale is 0 to 14. Whenever there is 0 to 7, this is the acidic range. Then 7 to 8 is 7 up to 7 is the means 7 is the neutral range, and 7 to 14 are the basic range. So the permissible limit means we consume the water which having a pH up to 6.6 and 8.5. This point is very important regarding the GATE examination. The drinking water or the consumable water, pH of consumable water. We know that now the consumable water having a pH is 6.6 and 8 up to 8.5 milligram per liter as per Indian standard. Now there are some methods to determine the pH. We know that the first method is the pH meter, second one is the potentiometer, and third one is the by using the indicators we have to calculate the pH of water. Now let us see the indicators. There is one table we show in first column. There is the indicators. We use the methyl orange and phenolphthalein. These are the two names of indicators. Now pH range of methyl orange is 2.8 to 4.4, and pH range of phenolphthalein indicator is the 8.6 to 10.3. Means phenolphthalein gives the basic one and methyl orange gives the acidic one. Now original color of methyl orange is red and phenolphthalein is yellow. Now when we add this methyl orange in a water, then it becomes a yellow. Means we have to know whenever the water becomes a yellow means its pH is in the range of 2.8 to 4.4, and whenever we add the phenolphthalein indicator in a water, then it becomes a red, means it converts from yellow to red. Then whenever the water gives the red color means it having a pH in range of 8.6 to 10.3. means in generally the phenolphthalein gives the basic range and methyl orange gives the acidic range. This is about the indicator, using indicator. Now pH meter, we know that the how to calculate the pH by using a pH meter. There is one electrode, pH electrode used, then this pH electrode attached to that pH meter, and then whenever we don't know about the pH of any solution, then we insert that pH meter pH electrode in that water, and the pH reading digitally given on that pH meter. Means we directly calculate or we directly know by inserting a just pH electrode in a water pH of that unknown solutions. Now the third one is the alkalinity. We know that the alkalinity means the basicity, the quantity of ions present in water which neutralize to H plus. We know that the only hydroxyl ion or the basic ions are allowed to neutralize the acidic ions. Means whenever we add the basic ions in a water solvent, then it neutralizes to acidic ions. Now the chemicals responsible for the alkalinity are CO3 minus. This is the carbonate. Name of this one is the carbonate. Now HCO3 minus is the bicarbonate. and OH minus, it also called the caustic or hydroxyl ion. Now whenever there is a question that the following which chemicals are cause the alkalinity of water, now we have to answer that these three chemicals, carbonate, bicarbonate, caustic, or alternately it is caustic is alternately called the hydroxyl ion, are the responsible for the alkalinity present in a water sample. If the alkalinity present in a pipeline, then the scale is formed. We know that the scale means the hardness of water. Whenever there is the maximum salts are present in that water, then the small layer of salts are appeared on the metal, means whenever there is the pipeline, means which provide the water to a city or any industry or any water demand, then that pipeline get corroded by this maximum presence of salts in a water. Means whenever there is a salty water, then that layer of scale is formed in inner wall of that pipeline, then another layer, then again another, means one layer above the another layers are formed, and the diameter of pipe becomes reduced due to the scale. Now the reaction which forming the alkalinity. Now whenever the carbon dioxide present in a water, then it undergoes the formation of acid, means it gives the H2CO3, this is the carbonic acid, and any acid is the responsible for the corrosion. Now but this is the unstable. Now this carbonic acid whenever undergoes the depletion or the reaction, then it gives the H plus ions with remole of bicarbonate. Now again bicarbonate dissolve in a H plus and carbonate. Then again whenever these carbonates are present in a water sample, then it gives the caustic one, and this caustic one is the responsible for formation of the scale or formation of the corrosion of any metal. Now we have to calculate the equivalent weight. For calculating the hardness present in a water sample or calculating the alkalinity of water sample, we know that how to calculate. The equivalent weight means the molecular weight divided by its valency. Now there are some chemicals or the chemicals from above reactions, we have to calculate the equivalent weight. Let us see some examples. Alkalinity calculated in terms of equivalent to calcium carbonate. Always whenever any impurity present in a water sample, it always calculated by using a standard calcium carbonate. We know that there are the maximum salts are present like iron, manganese, magnesium, calcium, all these are present in a water sample, but we have to consider the calcium and magnesium, because there is the reason, because maximum percentage of calcium and magnesium, these salts are present in a water is the maximum comparison to other, so that we have to calculate in terms of that standard one as the calcium and magnesium. Now equivalent weight of calcium carbonate is equal to, we know that the molecular weight of the calcium is the 40, then carbon is the 12, means 40 plus 12, then oxygen are the 3 oxygen are present, so that we have to calculate 3 into the molecular weight of the oxygen is the 16 whole divided by valency. We know that the valency of this calcium carbonate is the 2, so that the 50 is the equivalent weight of calcium carbonate. Now same way we have to calculate the equivalent weight of carbonate. We know that the valency of carbonate is 2, the molecular weight of carbon is 12, then 3 oxygen are present, then again 3 multiplied by 16 is the molecular weight of oxygen, then the answer is the 30, equivalent weight of carbonate is the 30, then equivalent weight of bicarbonate is 61, and equivalent weight of hydroxyl is the 17. Now we know that the molecular weight of oxygen is 16, hydrogen is the 1, and valency of OH minus, there is the minus, means valency is the 1, so that the molecular weight of hydroxyl is the 17. These are the methods to calculate the equivalent weight. Now alkalinity expressed in terms of calcium carbonate in milligram per liter if OH is present. Now Whenever OH is present, then it reacts with H plus and it gives the H2O. Now again H plus plus CO3 means the carbonate, it gives the bicarbonate, and whenever the bicarbonate is again reacted with a H plus present in a water sample, then it gives a carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. Now the alkalinity and the concentration of indicator means what happen about the alkalinity when the concentration of indicator is equivalent to that indicator or more than that one, then which condition is applied. Now this is important for the exam point of view. Again we consider that the methyl orange alkalinity for the M and phenolphthalein alkalinity for the P. Now condition first, if the P is equal to M means the phenolphthalein alkalinity is equal to methyl orange alkalinity, then the water becomes the caustic. Caustic means it becomes a basic when these alkalinity are in same present in a water. Now condition 2, if the phenolphthalein alkalinity is smaller than methyl orange alkalinity divided by 2, means whenever the methyl orange alkalinity is half of that of phenolphthalein alkalinity, then the carbonate and bicarbonate are present in the water sample. Now condition 3, if the phenolphthalein alkalinity is greater than M by 2 means the methyl orange alkalinity divided by 2, then it is the carbonate type of alkalinity present in a water, or it is called the carbonate alkalinity present in water. These are very important for the exam point of view. Now if the P is equal to 0 means the phenolphthalein alkalinity present in water is 0, then the bicarbonate type of alkalinities are present. Then the next parameter is the hardness. Hardness subdivided into two subtypes. We know that the hardness of water means whenever the salts are present in a water, or the water, or whenever we use the water reacted with a soap solution, then the lathering of soap solution is not formed. Means whenever water sample reacts with soap solution, then the lathering of that soap solution is not formed, means it is called the hard water, and when the lathering of soap solution is formed, this is called the soft water. This is a very simple the general method to know about the water hardness. Now this hardness is divided into two subtypes. First one is the temporary hardness and second one is the permanent hardness. Now this temporary hardness is alternatively called as the carbonate hardness, and permanent hardness is called the non-carbonate hardness. Now why it is called the temporary hardness and permanent hardness? Means whenever the water is just boiled, means water undergoes the boiling, then the temporary hardness get removed by a just boiling process, that is called the temporary one. And whenever we heat the water but the hardness is not removed by a boiling process, is called the permanent hardness. Now the carbonate means calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate are present in water, this is called the carbonate hardness, and whenever it undergoes the boiling process, then this carbonate is settled down at the bottom of that vessel and we have to remove by just filtration method, so it is the temporary hardness. But whenever we heat with permanent hardness, means whenever permanent type of hardness, they are like a chlorine, fluorine, all the salts are present other than that carbonate one, then whenever there's water undergoes the heating, then the PPT or that salts are never settled down at the bottom of vessel, means by just boiling process these salts are not removed from water, that so that it is called the permanent hardness. Now total hardness is in terms of calcium carbonate, means the concentration of Ca2 plus 2 plus into equivalent weight of calcium carbonate divided by equivalent weight of Ca2 plus. Now equivalent weight of magnesium 2 plus is equal to the atomic weight divided by valency. We know that the atomic weight of magnesium is the 24 and the valency is the 2, so that the 12 is the equivalent weight of magnesium. Now the equivalent weight of calcium is the 20. we have to know these, or we don't calculate in this exam, we remind this in our mind. Now the conditions of carbonate and non-carbonate hardness. If the total hardness is smaller than equal to alkalinity, then the carbonate hardness is equal to the total hardness. Means TH is the total hardness, CH is the carbonate hardness, and NCH is the non-carbonate hardness. Now the total hardness is equal to carbonate hardness plus non-carbonate hardness. We write this in is equal to CH minus NCH, so that the NCH is equal to 0, means the non-carbonate hardness is equal to 0 whenever there is the presence of the carbonate hardness. We have to calculate the carbonate hardness. Now if the total hardness is greater than the alkalinity, then the carbonate hardness is equal to the alkalinity, means total hardness is equal to the carbonate hardness plus non-carbonate hardness, so that the total hardness is equal to alkalinity, means we know that the CH is equal to alkalinity plus NCH, means the non-carbonate hardness, then non-carbonate hardness is equal to total hardness minus alkalinity. These are some formulas. Now let us start with the chemicals or the salts, chemical salts present in a water sample. The first one is the chloride. The chloride is present in water sample. The reasons are due to industrial waste, means whenever there is the industrial wastewater is supplied in a water flow, then the chlorine present in that industrial wastewater is included in our water sample, river, sea, etc. Now dissolved salts and the agriculture waste, these are also responsible for the chlorine present in a water sample. Permissible limit of chlorine is the 250 ppm in 1 liter of water. It is a Indian standard. By using a Morse method, we can calculate amount of chlorine present in a water sample. We know that the titration of silver nitrate, whenever we take the silver nitrate in a burette and we have to take the chlorine containing water sample or the any water sample, we have to calculate that the chlorine is present in that or not. Then take it in a beaker or in a conical flask, then add a potassium as an indicator, and then whenever it gives the yellow color and whenever we start to titrate against the silver nitrate, then it becomes a blue color, so that we have to calculate that the presence of chlorine is there. Now, and this method is called the Morse method. Now second one is the sulfate. Due to this sulfate, the diffraction occur. This is the main reason of sulfate. We have to whenever present in a water sample, then this one is happen. The permissible limit of sulfate is the 250 ppm in 1 liter of water. Then the next chemical is the lead and arsenic. We know that these are the poisonous. Lead and arsenic are very poisonous because these are in generally form of carbon atom. The toxics or the toxins are produced in our body. The permissible limit is the 0 ppm because these are very toxic in our body, so that the permissible limit of lead and arsenic is the 0. Iron and manganese, the discoloration occur, means the discoloration is occurred due to presence of iron and manganese in the water sample. The permissible limit of iron is the 0.3 ppm and permissible limit of manganese is the 0.05 ppm in 1 liter of water. Now next one is the fluorides. The yellow teeth in kids, in generally whenever there is the fluorides are present in a water, then the color of that teeth in only kids, not in adults, the color changes yellow. The permissible limit is 1 to 1.5 ppm in 1 liter of water. The next one is the copper. It directly affect on a lungs and respiration system, so that the permissible limit of copper is 0.05 to 1.5 ppm in 1 liter of water. Now dissolved gases. We know that the hydrogen sulfide H2S, CH4, then CO2 carbon dioxide, etc. are the gases. Whenever it dissolves in a water, it gives the bad taste and bad odor. The permissible limit of that dissolved gases in water is 0. Now dissolved oxygen. The 9.2 milligram per liter is the dissolved oxygen in a river, and 5 to 10 ppm is the permissible limit of dissolved oxygen. Now biological oxygen demand or the BOD. The quantity of oxygen required to decompose the biodegradable organic matter is called the biological oxygen demand. The permissible limit of this one is the 0 in consumable water. Then the last one factor is the nitrogen. This having 3 sub chemicals or the sub parts like ammonia, nitrite and nitrate. The nitrite is the indicate partial decomposition. Whenever the water is present in a water, we know that there is the partial decomposition is formed due to the nitrite, so that it is very dangerous. Whenever the partial decomposition happen, it is dangerous for us. So the permissible limit is 0 for the nitrite. It measured by a color matching technique by a sulfonic acid plus naphthalene. Now nitrate indicate old pollution, means it whenever it present in it means the complete decomposition is occurred, so that whenever there is presence of nitrate means it is the old pollution. The permissible limit is the 45 ppm. If it is more than the limit, then the blue baby disease is occurred, means whenever the after means the permissible limit means whenever the nitrate present in water sample is greater than 45 ppm or 45 milligram per liter, then it directly affect on infant, so that the blue baby disease is occurred, means the color of that skin is becomes blue. These are the directly factors or the